We'll have Toastmaster Amol and Toastmaster Gokul, both for table topic and Quizmaster alternatively. So I would like to invite Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Chris, to continue. Looking forward to seeing you.
All right. Thank you, Master Rose, for that welcoming introduction. So now we know the team that we are here now for the evaluation. So now our theme today is leadership. Now this is a very interesting topic, and I will be so unfair that if I own this topic alone, I believe we have great leaders even amongst us here. And by the way, one of the greatest goal of Toastmasters, we are not just here to learn about public speaking, but one of the key pillars of Toastmasters is leadership. So now, I'm just going to introduce this theme, and I have like about 2 questions that I would like to get from the audience. So like, I have a question. Politicians, are they leaders? Discuss. Politicians, are they leaders? Discuss. So is anybody who is here who can give us an insight on that? We want to get the difference. Anybody want to give a try?
Politician can be defined as a person who has power.
Who has power?
And a leader can be defined as who is one with the audience, with the team.
With the team. Yeah. So from what you're saying that not all politicians are leaders, right?
Yes.
Because not everybody has powers. But leadership, I think we can get it everywhere. Be it where you are, even here there are leaders. Another question I have, leaders are born or are made?
I think they're made. They are made.
Yes, you can give us maybe just 1 minute talk about that.
Yes. I think leaders, some people, the leadership skills they are born with leadership skills. Like not exactly leadership skills, but strong character, dominant character, and like helping nature. Like these skills, some people are born. But most of the leaders we can see, I think they are made by the most importantly in the childhood by their circumstances, the environment they live in, and mostly in homes, the elder brother or the elder sister, they generally become good leader because they have their smaller siblings to take care of. So like this, I think, in most of the cases, the environment in which the people grow up, the environment makes leaders.
Okay, thank you so much for the insight. So this is a way of introducing the topic, and now this is a very interesting topic, and I've done some research about leadership, and people have diverse kind of impression on what makes a good leader. And you see, when people talk about leadership, people think about politics. So realize that most of the politicians we have in my country or anywhere around the world, mostly they think about next election. So they strategize and think about making plans for the next election. But true leaders, they think about next generation. So that's the major difference, because you want to see a better future, your children getting into best education, and as a politician, you hold the power, so you want to remain in power. To remain in power, you must think about, okay, I've gotten this. I'm waiting for the next one, to get the next, to the next. They always want to think about the next election. Now, another interesting thing that I also discovered is that, are leaders born or are leaders made? I believe that everyone is a leader. So that simply means that we are all capable of becoming leaders. Because I was looking at the scenario of a toddler, a small child. And this child, maybe they don't know much, but when you're giving a small child food, they can sometimes say no. And actually, they don't eat. And sometimes when you give them a certain type of food, they refuse to eat it. So I realized that this concept simply means that even a small child have something which we all have. It's called what? Will. So as human beings, we have what we call the power of will. So, but the fact that we have the power of will means that we are all leaders. We are all made to lead in one way or another because that's a very character that we see in all leaders. But now the question is, if everyone is a leader, then who are the followers? Can we all be leaders?
Yes.
Then who are the followers? If here we are all leaders, then who will be the follower? Maybe, Srijit, you can, in just a few minutes.
We all can be leaders,
Yes.
depending on situation,
Yeah.
and anyone can follow us. If you look at office,
Yeah.
let's say we have 4 people working together, and there is some issue. One person from the team member,
Yeah.
he can solve the issue and show the path to other people.
Yeah.
So in that situation, that person is a leader, and the other 3 are the followers. So depending on the situation, it varies.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Actually, we are supposed to be leaders in some areas of specialization. Because I've seen here data analytics and data engineer. I've seen people having different kind of talents. So we're supposed to master something and lead in it. Because if we are to, like here, there is a different people have different profession. I'm into finance, somebody's in marketing, somebody's in HR, someone into IT, and that makes us the difference now. So when I need IT consultation, I'll go to Toastmaster Gokul. If I need any marketing issues, I'll go to him, and that brings the difference. So you're supposed to lead in your area of gifting. There are people who are gifted in speaking. So how are you going to lead there? You're supposed to be able to lead in your area of gifting. It could be, maybe you're an analyst. So be the best in that area of gifting. That's how I understand it, because we are all leaders, but you can't say that there's something in you that you know that you can take the leadership. So you need to master something. That's how I understand leadership. You need to be master of something. Let us know you for something, so that when we need this service, we come to you and say, I know Toastmaster Dave can do this. I know Toastmaster Rosie can do this. That is the essence of leadership. But we are actually all leaders. So that's why we have the concept of a leader and a follower. Because I might not be very good in marketing, and he is good in marketing. So he becomes my leader. I might not be good, let's say, in IT. So I will look for Gokul and say, Gokul, take me through this. At that moment, I become the follower. So as we continue with this theme, it's a very long theme. I have many concepts about leadership and many stories. But I would just like to introduce to you one of our greatest leaders. And his name is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's one of my mentors. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the leaders, world-known leaders in the world. And during his time, there was racial segregation. So like in America, the whites and the blacks, they were separated in terms of services. So there's something that is very, very common with leaders, is that they stand up for something. And they are ready to die for something. They are not ready to live for something. So the conviction that Martin Luther King had was that everybody is the same and should be treated the same way. So because of this, he organized protest and fight against civil injustice. And because of what he stood for, he was able to bring a lot of change into racial segregation. And one of my favorite quotes, he said that you may be 38 years old as I am, or you may be 90 years old. But at some point in life, something will happen to you that you have to stand up for something. So most people will not stand up because they're afraid that somebody else will kill them. You are afraid because you are trying to protect your family. You are afraid because you fear judgment from others. So he's saying that once you're afraid to stand up for something you are really convinced, you have a conviction about, then you might live as long as you wish. You might live as you are 90, but you actually dead at 38. Because once you compromise on your values, then you are as good as dead. So as leaders, you must be able to stand up for something. That is what brings the difference between a leader and leaders have values. So like Martin Luther King Jr., he stood up for something. And there are so many leaders that we can really talk about. I'm going to give you more examples about that one. So now we have the mood of the theme. And now we are going to learn more about leadership through our meeting. So I'm going to introduce the second session of the first session of the meeting, which is prepared speeches. So we, yes. So we are going to invite our first speaker. And I'm going to invite the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Dave, to introduce the first speaker and the goal for the speech. So welcome, Toastmaster Dave.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dave. So today my target speaker Srijit is attempting his level 1 project 4 from the path presentation mastery. The project is all about evaluation and feedback, and he is giving his second speech. So the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and